Welcome to today's fast track episode of The Growth Zone. My name is Christian Bartsch, and these episodes provide you with a focused, mind-feeding topic. You can use it to have some new ideas to guide you through the day. Let's get started on today's topic. So in today's episode, we are going to look at IoT technology in the commercial shipping world. By that, I mean all these freighters, the oil tankers, all these ships that are transporting goods of any kind of element, of structure, and so on. They are going either as feeders in a short distance and feeding the big container ships, the big oil tankers, so that they can then commute across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, the Indian Ocean, and other big oceans. But the technology is evolving. Shipbuilding is changing quite a lot. And as we are seeing how things are changing, especially now with the pandemic and other kind of things, we're noticing that there's a lot of opportunity in the IoT technology. Nevertheless, let's have a look. How does a ship actually work? So you've got the crew, which is a captain, first officer, second officer. Maybe you've got a third officer as well, depending. And you've got the shipmates, you've got the cook and other kind of people who have certain kind of knowledges. You have the radio communications person and the engineer for the motor and other kind of professional and special trained staff. And in certain areas, you even have a security staff to protect the ship against pirates and that. So we have quite a variety of jobs, of tasks that have to be done, and we've got a variety of products, goods that are being transported. Some goods are liquids, some goods are small products like rice, grain, bananas, stuff that has to maybe be refrigerated. Then we've got as well maybe stuff like electronics. We've got cars as well. Cars are totally differently shipped usually than, for instance, computer parts. At the same time, of course, if you go and hire a container, you can put as well a car in a container and ship it. But if you go and buy a new car that's been manufactured in a different continent, that'll be transported on a car transport ship. So that ship is transporting only cars, no containers. So the cars are stored in a totally different way than you do with containers. And of course, the good is a different element that you have to handle in a different way. The same thing would be if you're transporting rice or coal, oil, and other kind of products, or iron ore. Totally different way of handling the stuff. But the key thing is, of course, you can use IoT devices in the ship, for instance, for the security. You can see whether somebody is trying to climb up the ship. If you are in harbor, somebody could maybe try to be a blind passenger and then climb into the ship and then hide and then take a free ride to the next harbor. It could be the same as well, of course, someone who's like a pirate who's trying to hijack your ship and then demand a ransom. So the smart devices can monitor the edge, the premises of the ship, and warn the crew of a threat, of a potential risk. And as well at the same time, IoT devices can be as well built in different areas of a ship to monitor the health, the security of a ship, whether there's water leakage, whether there's a certain heat coming up, or any kind of other things that are causing some kind of reason that one should then take a close look and make sure this isn't happening. Because you'd say, well, it's easy. It's a ship. They'll notice a ship is very long. And some of these freighters, oil tankers, and so on, you even need a bicycle to ride from the area where the crew lives to the front, to the bow or the stern. And that's huge distances nowadays. And these container ships can be extremely tall, really high walls. So inside you even have like a small road, like a bicycle lane inside that you can actually commute from one end to the other end of the ship. Nevertheless, the IoT devices are able actually to help you find out where there are areas that are a problem. The same thing, of course, the ship can notice if certain things are being damaged outside. For instance, like your antennas and other kind of things. IoT devices can even act as small little cameras, so they can show you what's happening with the goods. In a multitude that is much easier and faster to implement and build than it would be with standard video surveillance systems, where you need cabling and lots of stuff. Instead, IoT devices can communicate with Wi-Fi and special frequencies that do not interfere with the outer casing of the ship and so on, so that as well the crew gets information not only in the main area of control at the on the areas where you have this communication systems, but as well, of course, if an engineer is on his bicycle riding to the front or to the back of the ship, and there he can even use and communicate with the IoT device so that he can pinpoint where he has to look and where maybe the highest place is or the most intense place of this issue is. So that's something you can do. And in the future, if you have a ship that is smartly designed, smartly built, has all these IoT technology and so on, it can eventually as well communicate with the harbor that has smart IoT devices. Because not just the ships, the harbors as well, developing themselves to a new smart workplace. So taking off containers or putting new containers on cars and so on and so on. Things are changing and evolving the way all this commercial shipping is working nowadays. And even if you've got a passenger ship, things are changing very much because IoT devices can be everywhere in many, many different places and make things much easier to handle and more efficient and safer as well. And especially if you're in a rough sea, it is very important that you are aware of maybe any kind of potential risk for the ship and the crew. So that's a good thing where IoT devices can really, really be of great benefit, and they are low cost, which means the ship can have a lot of these devices for very low cost, providing a great safety advantage. And maybe even reducing the maintenance costs because the ship knows ahead of time where it has some kind of problems, and you can pinpoint and quickly reduce the damage before it eventually becomes a big, big problem and the ship has to go into the dock because it cannot continue. And that's what you are seeing. And when we look at the future, it means, of course, that for engineers, for programmers, technicians, ship designers and so on, architects, as well those who are maybe managing and planning ports, planning as well how a port works, all these workflows and so on. These people have quite a challenge because a lot of technology is just evolving and some of the infrastructure isn't even available. You can't buy it. So most of it is even still pretty basic, or it's lab quality, but it's not productive. But you can see now already where you have to go towards and where you have to start preparing the necessary space so that you actually can start implementing this technology and even increase the speed of your harbors. So that means that your harbors become much smarter, faster, more efficient. You need less workforce. You can change. You can get the goods off the ship faster and onto the ship faster. And you don't create all these kind of chaos that we, for instance, are going to see in the United Kingdom now. Once the Brexit comes, there'll be a huge issues with all these containers and so on. They can't move them back and forth. They already have issues with containers that are already filling up the ports and creating huge issues. But if they had smart technology already now implemented, that's already available, the ports would already have got rid of these containers and placed them somewhere else, or even got them on the way so that they are capable of handling all the stuff properly. Instead, they are creating greater problems. And we haven't just only the freight that's moving. We have people moving, we have cars, we have trucks commuting and so on. We have got as well, of course, all the border control and these other issues that are happening. And that's why a port is a place, not only a workplace, but as well an important connection point between other places, other worlds, and as well other environmental and risks that are allowed. Because sometimes as well, whether it's rats or spiders and other kind of animals, sometimes get on ships, travel with the ship to the next place, and eventually exit. That's how as well some kind of animals, for instance, have moved from, for instance, Africa or Asia or Europe to other places, or from North America to Europe and so on. And that's how we have to be aware of that a port is an important place where important stuff is happening, but we have to have them at the right time, in the right design, and as well already planning ahead of time so that decisions aren't made too late and become a costly loss. Because it means as well for the shipping companies, if they see there's one harbor that is more productive for them, it's going to cut their costs and increase their ability to make money for them, they're going to go and move their shipping to that port. Because in the end, it doesn't matter to them really that much if these ports are close by and there's no big differentiation other than the technology that one port is providing and allowing them to cut the costs massively, speed up the loading and offloading. So in the next episodes, we're going to look at other technology and eventually then go and see how that technology can influence as well our marketing approach, market entry for all different kinds of products and businesses that we're going into. And especially as well for those who are implementing that technology inside the business, how they can even sell it towards inside and to their companies and their clients, who then notice, because they are ahead of time, that they are offering a greater advantage, and that's why you should do business with them. I hope you enjoyed the Fast Track edition of today. I would like to invite you to follow our show so that you don't miss the upcoming interviews with leaders in the market. Simply visit the website follow.prmediareach.com. I will be adding the link also to the description of this episode so that you just need to click on that link. The link is follow.prmediareach.com. follow.prmediareach.com. You can follow me also on Twitter by using the Twitter handle CAPBarch. So it's spelled CAPBARTSCH. Or for those who are into sailing and flying, Charlie Alpha Papa Bravo Alpha Romeo Tango Sierra Charlie Hotel. Yes, that's CAP Barge. See you soon, or hear you soon in the next episode. And please share as well this episode if you've enjoyed it and would like to let others have the opportunity to use it as well to get new ideas and insights.